Everyone, this is Xavier from AI Construct. This is going to be the first of a series in that you guys can follow me on, and it's going to be the journey to make our first 100,000 in NNN automation and in creating a business. So in this video, I just wanted to explain my um, ideologies and what I believe is the best sector for us to be in as automation specialist. So a bit of a background on myself. I have 5 years in experience in construction across all different ranges of construction and all different sectors within construction. So I think that's a bit of a point of difference. Didn't come from an AI background, didn't go through IT in university, anything like that. I have a construction management degree, worked for head contractors, and I feel like that's a point of difference. I understand the industry from the ground up. And being in these industries and going through the grassroots is where you can identify problems. It's very hard for someone outside of an industry to come in to propose solutions when they don't understand the problem themselves. So I guess those following, this is why it's probably good to, if you guys want to make automations for the construction sector, this will be a good channel to follow because I will be raising these issues. I will be explaining them from someone that is in the industry themselves, and hopefully this, brings a light bulb moment for you guys where you're like, you know, I can solve this problem. So this industry, from my experience, it's ripe for disruption. It is ranked among the least digitalized sector, and from personal experience, this is very true. A lot of works are manual labor. A lot of work have no automation, no systems. It's an industry with long hours, and I feel like that's because of the old practice. For example, a lot of things are very manual. Even in the management, you're manually inputting data into Excel or stuff like that. Stuff that can be easily automated. Now, this has caused long working hours within the industry. People are working on the tools and coming home and still having to do more work in terms of paperwork, in terms of invoicing, in terms of coordination online. And this is why automation is so useful in this sector. Not a lot of people understand automation, and not a lot of people understand technology. A lot of people in the construction sector have come from trade backgrounds. They didn't go through schooling generally, and they generally don't trust or understand where the world is heading in terms of AI. And that knowledge gap creates an opportunity. And this is the opportunity that us as a business want to capitalize on. Where there's efficiency in any business is an opportunity for automation, and is an opportunity for us to generate a bit of profit. Now, why is the construction industry better than other sectors, you may ask? For example, people starting out might think, oh, maybe we should go into retail, maybe we should go into finance, but why construction? Let me explain why. As a business, you want to be in a sector with the most amount of money of the share of the global market. What that means is that if we are creating automations for, let's say, a barber, very likely the barber is making under $500,000. Now, in construction, you can have a person that's gone through a trade as a plumber. He's created a business, just because of his experience, and he's now generating between $5 to $10 million. That person has no education on AI. He doesn't trust AI, doesn't understand AI, and he's generating that much money with no systems. Now, this is the gap that we want to capitalize on. And this is broadly across a lot of different trades that I've worked with in the past, is that they don't have that IT knowledge with them. And all of the trades are making over at least $5 million. As a business, it's harder to get $5,000 from a company making $100,000 a year than it is to get $5,000 from a company making 5 million. Based on percentages, it's all a numbers game. Now, in construction, most builders and most trades don't know that NA exists. I feel like in a lot of data sectors, people have gone up through traditional university routes. They're more tech savvy. They're more, up to date with the global changes. Big financial companies like accounting, it's very hard for someone and to start a business with no resume, no background, no connections to get into that industry before, unless you have some sort of reputation and connection. Now, this is why when we focus on construction, we have an opportunity because they don't have this knowledge. There is a bit of a knowledge gap. Now, there's low competition from what I've seen, which will allow us to have higher consulting rates and longer term contracts. If we're able to increase efficiency for these companies, those companies are able to spend more money on things that matter, and this gives them better margin in their projects. Now they're paying workers around $80 to $90, and these workers spend an extraordinary amount of time doing paperwork. If we can reduce that time, what's $200-300 a week for them? The cost of actually implementing our systems is actually going to be tenfold cheaper for the company than hiring someone in the construction industry, especially in Australia, where tradies are paid over $50 to $100 an hour, especially if they're in a union. So that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it off, and I'm gonna create a whole series on this. But the construction industry, I feel, if you're lost for an industry to focus your business on, or if you're just starting out a business, follow this channel, AI Construct. I myself am making automations currently for construction businesses. I've had the most success. I've been able to generate the most amount of revenue, and I just want to share that with you guys around the world. And to set us all on the right path. I believe the industry is due for change as well. It's stuck in its old ways, and the more people we can bring to create better efficiencies in the industry, it's gonna make building safer, it's gonna make building faster, and it's gonna improve the quality for all stakeholders. The benefit for us is that we get a small market share of the profits, but that market share, as you know, is a big there's a lot of money involved, and a small percentage would mean that we will be able to make generational wealth, or we will be able to make an income greater than other industries. So yeah, follow along, give me a like, and let me know what kind of videos you want to make. I'll be explaining different problems in the industry in my next video, and potentially creating tutorials on simple end-to-end automation on how to solve these issues. Thanks.